What's going on, fellas? Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to the Chicago News. It's a little segment, little thing I want to do just to update, all you fans on what's going on in the world of Chicago sports. I mean, I think today is a great day to do it because as of right now is the January 11th. So as of yesterday, January 10th, whew, what an amazing day for the city. The Bears beat their division rivals in the wild card round. The Bulls won. The Blackhawks won. The Cubs signed Alex Bregman to a 5-year deal, the main topic of today. And then the White Sox didn't do anything dumb. So, like I just mentioned, I'll be making videos on all this stuff, that's really the goal for this whole thing, kind of, help inform, throw some, you know, points of discussion out for, all these teams and really, the whole sports world in general. But today we'll be diving into the Edward Cabrera trade and the Alex Bregman signing and what it really means for the Cubs. All right, so starting out, I feel like a lot of Cubs fans were kind of on the consensus, the idea that factoring the idea that Kyle Tucker is very, very likely going to sign somewhere else. If the Cubs could bring in a bat and bring in another solid starting pitcher, they would be set. They enter that new tier of true World Series contenders. And so we'll start off by earlier this week, the starting pitcher. Now, the Cubs made themselves a move. They didn't give up their whole farm, but for three prospects, including number one prospect Owen Casey, who had a great run with us. We called him up for a couple of games. He did awesome. I wish him nothing but success out of Miami. And that also includes the number 11 prospect, Christian Hernandez. For them, a couple of those prospects, in return, the Cubs got right-handed pitcher Edward Cabrera. Now, what I feel like Cabrera actually brings, I feel like it's a lot of the swing and miss stuff that the Cubs kind of lacked. We had a lot of ground ball guys, a lot of guys that could, even go deep. But in terms of like real strikeout guys, swing and pitch guys, I feel like that was something that was missing from this rotation. That was kind of that question mark heading into the playoff. Can we actually strike these guys out? And I feel like that's something that Cabrera brings, and I think really solidifies this rotation, hence why we're talking about them being possible contenders. And not only does it solidify the rotation, but I think, butterfly effect, it kind of allows other guys, like right down, just looking at right now, looking at the ESPN roster, there's what? That's like four, five, six, seven. Oh my gosh. There's seven starting pitchers. Eight. Eight starting pitchers listed. Cubs don't need eight starting pitchers. All of a sudden, Ben Brown becomes a key asset in the bullpen. Can Colin Ray move back down to the bullpen? These are the things that I feel like genuinely just include the entire, you know, pitching roster, you know, from both a rotation standpoint and a bullpen standpoint. So I feel like adding that last key starter is what the Cubs really needed to become, very competitive from pitching perspective. So pitching wise, I mean, I really think the Cubs, have the chance to be, one of the greatest in the National League at it, the whole MLB. But what can we do on the offense? Well, we saw, especially in the first half, that this offense was one of the most productive. A lot of that because of our seven, eight, and nine hitters. But second half, bats went cold. No other real way to put it. At the worst time, all of our best hitters just completely, they just forgot their swing, right? And so with Kyle Tucker very likely going somewhere else, Cubs started to turn to other possible free agents. A big one, myself included. I was hoping and praying, crossing my fingers and toes for Kyle Schwarber. He re-signed with Philadelphia. People started looking at Bo Bichette, maybe Eugenio Suarez, but we got the man that, I mean, I know personally has been on at the top of my wish list the past couple off seasons. Alex Bregman, third baseman, did not re-sign with the Red Sox, came over to Chicago on a 5-year, $175 million deal. I think Bregman is exactly what this team needed. No disrespect to Matt Shaw. I'm sure he'll still serve as very, he still has a key role. But man, to get that third baseman that was really hurting us the first half of last season. To put it all together, man, I think Bregman really it completes it. It completes the whole lineup. I think he's a great balance of, power and actual contact, being able to get on base, just like what Kyle Tucker was. I think he really serves what Tucker gave this lineup while also filling in the gap that we had on defense. So to put it all together, going into opening day, I think we have a very solid rotation. Steele is still missing the early parts of the season, if I am correct. However, I think that rotation is still well equipped enough to, last until then. I still feel like there's no true clear-cut ace. I mean, starting out the season, we had Steele. After that, Matthew Boyd was pitching lights out. Towards the end of the season, it was Cade Horton. So going into opening day, I don't think there's you could just hand the ball to one guy, easy peasy. No, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually goes to Cade Horton. I know that's a big ask from just a second year guy to, you know, start out opening day, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Although I also understand if they went with Matthew Boyd or maybe Shota, depending on where things are with him, but we'll see. Um, and then offensively, where does Bregman stand? Originally, for some reason, I was bouncing around a lot on where he would actually be in the lineup. I saw MLB Network, just a graphic I saw online, had him hitting four. Uh, I think around that 3, 4, 5 is naturally where he'll land. Probably, I mean, it sounds like he really is just replacing Tucker in every aspect, but I can get. I think third would be the just in my mind what I envision where he would hit. All right, there's 162 plus games ahead of the Cubs, and I won't be too outlandish in my takes. But I do really believe that the Cubs have the chance, the potential to really move into that top tier, along with the Dodgers. They proved they could go head to head with them. Same with the Phillies and the Brewers, even the Mets. I really think that, they have a chance to really cement themselves as one of those top teams. I think it'll be a bloodbath for the division. But I think all in all, the Cubs can very easily prove that they're the best team on all sides of the ball. All I will say is that come October, you can't be too surprised if you hear that the Chicago Cubs are the team to beat. But for now, let me know what you guys think on this whole situation. Let me know if there's anything you want to hear here on TCN Chicago News. All right. But as for now, if you don't know, now you know, baby. It's Chicago.